We are now live at Missouri State University for the 60th United States Handball Association's four-wall collegiate handball championships. My name is Dave Vincent, alongside Dave Fink. Danny Cordova from UTEP serving the ball here. Big setup down the middle from Dustin Van Brandt from Texas A&M.
Dustin, Dave, originally from Austin, Texas,
1-0.
has been groomed by one of the best players in the sport, Dave. Alan Garner living with Dustin in high school for just a little bit. Daniel Cordova, of course, the younger brother of top 8 pro Luis Cordova. So you'd have to say, Dave, he has got one of the greatest sparring partners in the adjacent room of anybody in the world.
3-0.
3-0.
That out.
And a quick side out. Van Brunt's younger brother, Will, played on the show court yesterday.
Dustin telling me that was the best he's ever seen his younger brother play. Good time for it on the webcast, Dave. Daniel Cordova is coming into this event with a lot of confidence.
Side out.
Beautiful inside-out pass. Daniel's on the cover of the most recent Handball magazine, Dave. Not many can say they've graced the cover. Jim London 10 times. A few other people more than once, but Daniel Cordova.
4-0.
Score here is 4-0.
Dustin reminds me a little bit of a young Tyler Hamill, Dave. He's got that smooth,
0-4,
effortless style.
I was thinking Adam Bernhardt.
I've heard a lot about Adam, but I don't know him.
Side out. 4-0.
Daniel Cordova looks really good right now, Dave. That's a very smart shot. Great get.
We're at the Plaster Sports Complex in Missouri State, Springfield, Missouri. This is the men's open, 5-0.
Short.
Danny Cordova, his whole family watching back home. From El Paso, Texas, goes to UTEP.
Actually lives over on the other side of the border in Chihuahua. Dustin overwhelmed here, Dave. He's not matching the intensity nor the power of Daniel Cordova right now. Daniel Cordova is only about 135 pounds, Dave, but he hits one of the hardest balls in this tournament.
Side out.
Doesn't play a lot like his brother, Dave, although he looks up to his brother and they spar together quite a bit. They're very supportive of one another. He's got his own style. Don't forget, Dave, Luis is about 3 inches taller than Danny.
1-6.
Danny's built almost like a Nadi Alvarado Jr., Dave. There's a bad bounce not called.
Replay.
And apparently was called.
1-6 over.
Score here is 1-6. Dustin Van Brandt serving to Danny Cordova.
Dustin, Dave, goes to school at Texas A&M main campus in College Station, Texas. His brother Will, who we watched last night, Dave, goes to Texas A&M Galveston, which is about 2 hours away. So they play each other from time to time, but Dustin said he normally goes up to Houston for games. He plays Adam Bernhardt up there. A couple years ago, had the opportunity to play Alan Garner and Tyler Hamill. So he just doesn't have time to travel to the big tournaments. He follows all the pro events, Dave, but
1-7.
on top of majoring in petroleum engineering at Texas A&M, graduating this spring, he also works full-time, so he tries to play handball whenever he can. He said he really looks forward to this event.
7-1. Side out.
Daniel Cordova did travel to one of the race stops this year, Dave, in Tucson, race stop number 3, where he ran into Abe Montijo in the first round of the qualifier. Abe playing one of the best matches I've ever seen Abe play, dismantling Danny there. I was expecting a close match, and I think ordinarily it would have been a close match. It was just one of those days where Abe was
2-7.
on top of his game. But Daniel bounced back, Dave, on the same court just about a month later at the Junior Nationals, where he made the finals.
7-2.
Actually winning the doubles there and making the finals of the singles.
Point.
Dustin's feet look like they got tied down there. I thought for a second he might injure himself, but he looks okay.
8-2.
This is game number 1, best 2 out of 3 to 21. Traditional scoring.
Very nice serve there from Danny. Threw a nice reverse on it.
Side out.
And a flat roll right there from Van Brunt. Left corner with the left hand.
2-8.
Nice inside out kill. That's the reinvention, Dave. Using the spin coming off that left wall and letting the ball run through your hand.
Side out.
Love that montage, Dave, that our tech team put together
8-3.
for the Placer Sports Complex and the Mo State campus.
Short.
You're talking about the opening, the show
They're
open.
short.
That was
Very cool.
Second
You
serve.
see all the trophies and the national championships won by Mo State and their legendary Hall of Fame coach, Dr. Tommy Burnett.
Side out. 3-8.
You see a lot of people, Dave, here in the gallery watching, but there's a lot more in the outer courts, as a lot of the Mo State and Lake Forest guys are in action on one of these 14 outer courts.
Replay. 3-8.
This is the 60th United States Handball Association's 4-wall Collegiate National Handball Championships. Missouri State University.
Side out.
That's the 6th winner that Danny Cordova's hit down the right wall.
8-3.
Leads with his elbow there, and that's a beautiful serve, but Danny leads with his elbow on that right pass down the right wall, hitting a big natural.
9-3.
The ball stays right down the wall.
Cordova fights that ball off, but just
Side
doesn't
out.
put it in the right spot as Dustin puts it away.
Well, that was a very well played point from Dustin, the best point that he's played thus far in the match.
3-9.
This is a senior day versus a freshman. You know, in the old days, freshmen weren't even allowed to play on the varsity level. You'll remember Lou Alcindor had to play on the freshman team at UCLA. It was his freshman team defeating the national champions in every scrimmage, but
4-9.
NCAA rules wouldn't allow him to play on the varsity. But in handball, Dave,
Side out.
it's Daniel Cordova coming in as a freshman. one of the top seeds here in this event.
9-4.
And rightly so. 9-4 is the score here.
Point.
This is the men's quarterfinals here. There's a
I
chance
know,
to make
Dave,
it
that
to
you've
the semis.
done your bracketology.
10-4.
Should Daniel win this match or Dustin, who would one of these guys run into?
Side out.
Looks like somebody got a little bit too caught up
You
in.
actually got me on that.
Well, that's what happens when you get too caught up in Tosh 4.0 instead of the draws that you should be working on.
Well, it would be the Isaac Acosta upper bracket
Side out.
match.
I disagree with that because I believe Kieran Neary will be playing Isaac
No.
Acosta.
Okay, so then it would be the winner of that match.
10-4.
The brackets here are crazy. There's 3 brackets for
Out.
each division. And if you win, you go. I should say there's
4-10.
6. So if you win, you go to the winning version. And you go to, if you lose, you go to the losing version of the next bracket. And then if you win just one match on that bracket, you either go to another bracket where all the winners go, or you go to another one where all the losers
Please
go.
stop. You lost me about
10-4.
4 brackets ago.
Side out.
Van Brunt gets another side out now. 4-10, game number 1.
4-10.
They had about a 20-minute warm-up. We thought that this match would start somewhat near the on-time spot. In fact, the other match before this ended at 10:08. They could have jumped right on the court, but instead it didn't start till about 10:30.
10-4.
You're always in such a hurry. I know that your social calendar fills up fast, but can't you at least allow guys a few minutes to get themselves acclimated to a new court?
Just want to get out at a respectable time. I
11-4.
know you will just take your headset off and just walk away and go back to the hotel without saying goodbye. But here we try to keep that schedule.
12-4.
It looked like Dustin was coming back into this game after Daniel started off very quickly, but now it's Daniel continuing to apply the pressure.
Danny's got too much power in the front court right now for Dustin. And a timeout being called
Timeout,
by
first timeout.
Van
Score
Brunt.
is 13-4.
Danny Cordova just pushing that ball past Van Brunt multiple times here in the front court. Nice, powerful passes.
Well, Dave, these Cordovas, and I say these, I mean senior, junior, and Daniel live and breathe handball. This is what they love. They play 2-wall, front ball, 4-wall, Vegas ball. In fact, Daniel and Luis upset Dave Chapman and Sean Lenning in Vegas 3-wall outdoor ball doubles this year. So these guys live for handball, and you can see it in the way that Daniel Cordova plays. He's got a lot of passion.
Well, everybody you just mentioned is actually back in Juarez, Mexico right now, Chihuahua, watching this live broadcast over at Luis Cordova Sr.'s house. The whole family having an incredible get
yes.
together as they tune
I
into
agree,
the
it is
broadcast.
incredible.
A lot of support for their younger brother and son. And
Oh, sorry, you were talking about the support.
sorry, I wasn't talking about the image on the screen. I
Oh,
was
okay.
talking about
All right, time in.
handball here in
13-4.
at Mo State, and then what webcast viewers and the family are doing back home in Mexico, watching their sibling play. And he's not letting them down with shots like that. Nice revolving door type shot as he spins around and just puts that ball down.
I know that the Cordovas, Dave, use some form of walkie-talkie. I know that you're a little bit more tech savvy than I, but Daniel will actually be on that walkie-talkie between games during timeouts, receiving instruction from Luis Cordova Sr.
It's really embarrassing. We're going to take up a fund so he can get a smartphone and not have to walkie-talkie with Nextel
16-4.
as he does currently. I mean,
I thought the walkie-talkie was a step up from the smartphone. I didn't. You make it sound as though it's a downgrade.
17-4. Short.
I'll use the Voxer app on my smartphone, which
think
is a
we've been down that
walkie-talkie
road.
social network sharing site. What Luis Cordova uses is something similar to smoke signals.
And Daniel Cordova, Dave,
18-4.
surprisingly dismantling Dustin thus far. I think we all expected a close match. It hasn't been.
Well, you took a bus ride in with Dustin, and you came in convinced he was going to compete very well against Danny today.
Well, Dustin's incredibly humble, but just based on his experience and his background playing this game for so many years and some of the wins that he's had and some of the sparring partners, I really expected this to be a very close match. Hasn't been.
Side out. Four 19.
I would not be surprised to see Daniel Cordova qualifying at one of the stops within the next year, Dave. Don't forget, Dave, last year at the Tucson HBC2, which was about 12 months ago, Daniel Cordova faced Chip Morales and took him to a tiebreaker, losing 11-6 after winning the first game 21-19. Chip Morales, Dave, now ranked
6-19.
number 12 on the tour, having qualified in the last 3 stops and taking 6th place in 2 of those last 3, and Daniel Cordova nearly knocking him off a year ago.
Side out.
And Daniel Cordova's game has gone up about 17% in the last year.
Well, what would happen if he would have defeated Chip Morales? Would he have lost his amateur status and been unable to attend the collegiate event?
Well, pro handball is similar, Dave, to
As a down ball.
playing minor league baseball, and then you can still play college football. You
Game
can still
point,
play pro
36.
handball and play in the collegiate nationals.
Next game.
And there it is, first game going to Danny Cordova, 21-6. You're watching the 60th United States Handball Association's 4-wall collegiate handball championships, a celebration of all sorts as co-eds from all over the United States, some from Canada, Mexico, as we see here, and Ireland converge to find out who will win the team trophies, Division 1, 2, and 3, women, men. These young student athletes are all over the place here at Missouri State University. We're going to take a quick timeout as Cordova takes down Van Brunt in the first game. We'll have number 2 right around the corner. Stay here at racefor8.com.
Second game, Danny serves first. 0-0.
Danny Cordova serving to Dustin Van Brunt. Danny representing UTEP, Van Brunt, Texas A&M at College Station. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink. This is the 60th United States Handball Association's four-wall National Collegiate Championships, and we're at Missouri State University in Springfield. Dave, you were talking about Dustin being a great kid. You had a chance to commute in with him on the shuttle. How did that go?
It was a nice ride, you know, Dustin and I.
2-0.
You guys buddies now?
Dustin was interviewed even though he didn't know he was being interviewed. It's a great skill to have. The winner this, Dave, by the
3-0.
incredibly complicated drop-up, triple drop-down method will be playing Riley Kloss of Lake Forest. You saw Dustin trying to pump himself up to start this game, but it hasn't really worked.
4-0.
That ball just fooled Dustin off that left side wall.
5-0.
Danny Cordova's a fast worker, Dave. Is that intimidating when you're playing against somebody that just jumps in there and wants the ball to serve it really quick? I know Sean Lenning has that style.
0-5.
And it's really intimidating for some, that, especially if they're on.
Well, that's true. Dustin's letting Daniel play at his pace. Dustin plays at a much slower pace. He needs to try and control Daniel's time a little bit more than he is.
1-5.
And you see Daniel completely controlling the time in this game, even after losing a point.
2-5.
He kept the ball all the way back into the server's return area. It's nice, Dave, having some of the pro players here like Sean Lenning, who the players really know and look up to.
It's a treat.
5-2.
This is the Men's Open Division I AB division.
6-2.
Very smart pass shot there from Daniel. Dustin leaning left, expecting Daniel to drive the ball either into the left corner or down the left wall, and Daniel goes behind him. I would suspect, Dave, that this would be the youngest player that Dustin's ever lost to. That would just be my guess.
You don't think that his brother Will has ever beat him in a practice match before? Do you think that Will, his brother, has ever defeated him before in practice?
He's never defeated him.
3-7. So, hit it over. All right, thank you. Over 3. Hold on, I was calling it wrong. No, never mind. Over 3-7.
Referee getting a little confused right there. It's easy to do here courtside at Missouri State University. A lot of places, tight quarters for the referee and the viewers over there behind the back wall.
Set up.
There's a beautiful shovel kill there from Dustin. He'll need more of that.
3-7.
Is this a point in the match, Dave, where you start experimenting with the serve that might get you some points, or stick with what you've been doing? Because it seems to me that Van Brunt's kind of running out of time. He might need to locate something that's going to give him opportunities to score.
4-7.
Van Brunt has been unable to maintain that front court position and dictate play. That time he was in control of the rally, but fades away rather than stepping into that right punch pass, and he hits it directly into the ground.
7-4.
I think we call that a grounder or a floor.
A floorer.
Side out.
It's when it hits the floor first, just before that front wall.
Huh. Does it rhyme with
4-7.
chip?
I don't think so.
Is it a
It's
chip
not
shot?
a chip. It's not a chip.
Is it a chip shot?
Kind of like when you're throwing the rocks across the water and the rocks
That's
just
actually
go.
called skip.
Oh. No, I don't think it's that. No.
Cordova has amazing power, Dave.
I agree with you.
This will be a setup for Van Brunt.
Side out.
So difficult to get that ball coming off that side wall. You see Van Brunt is coming in, but then all of a sudden puts on the brakes and just tries to use reflexes.
Well, I think Dustin lost that
Is it
ball
far
just
right
for
over
a
there?
split second into the left side wall.
Is it
You'll
far
see a lot
right?
of players
Good. All right, 7-5.
slipping and end up falling down trying to pick up that shot off the left side wall.
Second serve.
Cordova working on his reverse.
I know, Dave, he's consulted with you, actually had a couple of personal serve lessons from you, who he considers to be the master of the reverse and the hop. You don't like to divulge too
5-7.
much of what you guys talk about, but I know that you said he's picking up quickly on what he's being taught.
Well, it's the difference when you're teaching somebody who wants to learn as opposed to somebody who thinks it's just a novelty item that they can put into their quiver. He's actually looking at it like, I want to learn this so I can use it.
7-5.
See a lot of players come in and say, I'd love to learn how to do a 3-foot hop. Well, will you do it all the time? Is that your thing? Or are you just going to try to learn it one time? Because it's different. Cordova's actually trying to learn it to use it. That's why he's going to be such a really good player on the Pro Tour. Now, if his older brother had that mentality, especially when it comes to the usage of his own cell phone, he'd be a communications major at UTEP. But
8-5.
that ball actually is a natural hook that came out too much.
9-5.
I think what you're seeing right now from Dustin is just cannot adjust to the speed of the ball. He doesn't see the ball moving at this pace, Dave, in College Station. And when you get in there, Dave, and you're just overwhelmed, your brain can't react to the ball fast enough to actually execute your shots because you feel like you're just simply reacting to the ball
5-9.
and you're not processing what's happening quickly enough to actually have a plan and execute a plan. And you know that feeling, Dave. I know you feel it when you play Sean Lenning. It's just like you can't do anything but just try and get the ball back.
6-9.
You play a guy like Sean Lenning or Luis Moreno and you say, well, I'm just going to play my game. And you find out, well, your game's not good enough to even
7-9.
compete with them. I mean, single digits, bad. So what you end up doing is taking chances, and either you get up to 14 points against him or you score 0 because you're
Timeout.
taking
It's your first. It's
these
8-9.
crazy, low percentage type shots. Score getting close here, though. Van Brunt now up to 8, Cordova at 9. You're watching the 60th United States Handball Association 4-Wall National Collegiate Championships, Missouri State University. My name is Dave Vincent. We appreciate the fact that you have tuned in to this broadcast. As we have Dave Fink also in the booth here. And Jimmy London, who finds a way to make it into every shot that we show of the crowd.
And Courtney Pashot, who's in the top of your screen there, she's actually reffing right now.
That's not Courtney. She's
Oh, it's
one
not.
of the women students at University of Florida.
Oh.
But they do look alike.
I believe they call that a doppelganger. And that never fails, Dave. When you leave the door open and hit the ball around, the ball is going out of the door every time.
This is a 60-second timeout, right?
That's correct.
All right, time in. 8, 9.
Van Brunt got tied up with his feet there.
This is a different Dustin Van Brunt, Dave, than we saw in the first game and a half. He's finally starting to impose himself
9, 8.
just a little bit here. And he's making the second game very competitive. And that's the announcer's cursing. No, we're not swearing here in the booth, Dave. We're actually in the process of complimenting a player, and in return, the player hits a terrible shot.
Now, if you finish your sentence before the error took place, that would be the announcer's curse. But if it happens while you're talking about him,
I'm gonna replay
it's
that.
cursing.
Check the ball.
And that play is going to be replayed.
That was an obvious avoidable, Dave. Daniel showed him the shot and jumped right in front of him. There was no lane to hit that ball. And we will take an instant replay of this after that point and show our viewers exactly what an avoidable hinder is that was not called. So we're going to load up that last rally, the one previous to this, and do a little tutorial.
Well, you get your wish.
8, 10.
This one's brought to you by Tucson Rolling Shutters. Okay, I believe this is the play here, right?
Yes. And that's a clear avoidable right there. As Daniel bounced right
9,
into
10.
Dustin on a huge back wall setup. You don't seem all that convinced, though.
Well, I think it's borderline.
I actually don't.
I don't know why Van Brunt would go down the right wall when he had the whole left behind him and his player pinned, but
Well, he was shooting the right corner because Daniel Cordova was stuck on the right wall. So by shooting the right corner there, the ball angles away from Cordova.
well, it was the wrong
That-
shot.
I disagree. I think that's a good shot to hit if you've got your opponent pinned on your right
Deadlock
hip.
at 10.
Use the angle of the corner, run the ball away. And Dustin, Dave, needs to commit to blasting the ball when he's in the front court. I see him using the shovel shot far too often. And if you're not
11, 10.
incredibly precise with that shovel shot, it's just another setup for your opponent. You see Daniel Cordova in the front court just blasting the ball.
This will be a setup.
And you see Dustin
Athletic
just-
rally here, Dave.
But Dustin not imposing power in the front court. Needs to be driving the ball, hitting the ball hard. Instead, he's letting Daniel off the hook
12,
with those
10.
off-speed shots.
Wow, that ball just dead back
Hold on,
there.
hold on.
That's going to be played over. That was the strange play. The ball hit the back door. It didn't hit a crack, but the door's dead, and so the ball didn't come
Over.
off, and that meant
12, 10.
Cordova had to reach back for it, and Van Brunt was out of position, so they're just going to play it over, which is,
Well,
I think, just kind of a mistake all around.
the back door takes up about 15% of the back wall, Dave, and about 30% of the back wall shots hit the door. So that means you'd be playing over just about 20% of the points for every time the ball hits the door.
Well, what I'm saying is that since it didn't come off fast like Cordova thought, he was out of position, so he reaches back, and Van Brunt also thought it would come out fast. So the ball and Van Brunt were all kind of there at the same time, which I'm not really sure it was completely a hinder to begin with, though. But nonetheless, they played it over. We're in game number 2. Cordova wins the first one fairly easy against Van Brunt from Texas A&M. Cordova representing UTEP, just like his brother Luis Cordova. Now, did you find out from Danny what his major is at UTEP? I know Luis is going in as a major in business.
Well, as a second semester freshman, Dave, most have not yet declared a major. He's working.
Everybody's got a dream.
He's now working on his prereqs. Got to get those out of the way before you can enter those upper level courses.
I will be getting a Nextel walkie-talkie message from brother Luis any second. Tell him
Actually,
exactly.
you won't. His walkie-talkie doesn't go to your phone.
You'll just see.
Time in. 13-10. Short. Second serve.
There's the Luis Cordova inside out front court stiff arm winner.
14-10.
Very effective shot. Look at how smooth that left is, Dave. He backs up behind the ball, pushes off his back foot, and just makes a perfect left-handed swing. Daniel looks very comfortable right now, Dave.
Van Brunt was making this a match. All of a sudden, Cordova's starting to pull away here.
16-10.
Well, this is a matchup that's tailor-made for Daniel Cordova, a guy that doesn't really shoot the ball and a guy that doesn't put a lot of pressure on him. Daniel Cordova is able to camp out in the front court and just blast balls and make a lot of great digs.
Luis Cordova tells me that his brother Danny's going in as a pharmacist. So Danny will be a candy man. Nice get right there from Cordova. Then he gets up and backs into Dustin Van Brunt. Van Brunt just sends it right into his back.
17-10.
I think that's more of an avoidable hinder than that previous one that you thought was. I mean, especially if you're not looking back.
Shot out.
And there's a side out.
10-17.
That's what we call an excuse me right corner kill. Just trying to fight that
11,
ball
17.
off the right side wall. Look at that amazing dive from Daniel. Now he's got the big setup.
Shot out.
Now there's players from all around the country. You see Isaac Acosta over here, the #1 seed from LFC, who's a rock star at this tournament.
17,
He's sitting here
11.
courtside watching Danny Cordova right now. And that's what you're seeing. These players are coming from all over different schools. Now there's no other representative
Second serve.
from UTEP here, and not too many from CAMU, so those big, long, loud crowds that we've been seeing at some of these show court matches aren't here, but all of a sudden they're starting to see this young kid dive all over the court, and they're coming out here in Groves, Dave, checking out this young talent from Texas.
11,
Well,
17.
Isaac not only checking out the young talent from UTEP, but he's also doing some scouting, Dave. That's part of his responsibility as the leader of the Lake Forest squad. Daniel Cordova will be facing Isaac Acosta's teammate Riley Kloss in the quarterfinal at 5 o'clock tonight. And you see Isaac out there, Dave. I don't think we can get a shot of him, but he's actually got a notebook
11, 12, 17.
and he's writing down notes. It's very systematic at Lake Forest, Dave. There's no stone left unturned, as they say. I don't know who they is, but they say it. And Isaac now taking notes. He's actually got 2 columns for strengths and weaknesses. The weakness column, Dave, looking very bare at this moment.
It's nice to see Jimmy London making every off-court picture. Always on our cameras.
And always in our pictures also.
You're watching the 60th United States Handball Association's four-wall collegiate National Handball Championships. Game number 2, Dustin Van Brunt, Texas A&M versus Danny Cordova from UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso.
And it seems like we almost wrote Dustin off, Dave, but he's just 4 points from catching Daniel. Just has not been able to get over that hump. Every time he's drawn near Daniel Cordova, Daniel has been able to separate himself once again. And that's an amazing serve from Daniel Cordova.
18-13.
Danny just 3 points away. Van Brunt 8 away from causing a tiebreaker.
Point.
That's an amazing corner kill from Daniel Cordova. Takes the revolving door.
19-13.
And that's Daniel's 14th unreturned serve here in this match thus far, Dave. That's an incredibly high number.
This is game and match. Cordova looking to go to the semis, and it's a side out.
Nearly a third, or over a third, Dave, of Daniel Cordova's points have come on unreturned serves. Dustin Van Brunt has only hit 1 unreturned serve in this entire match. And that goes to show you how important the serve and the serve return is, Dave. Once these guys are in the rally, it's pretty even.
13.
Beautiful shot there from Dustin. That looked like the sleek Panther, Tyler Hamill in his prime, stepping in
13 serves 20.
with a beautiful paddle left kill. I know, Dave, that you don't speak to Tyler Hamill ever since he hijacked your horse blanket in Canada about 3 years ago at a post party.
13 serves 20.
Tyler Hamill, his wife, his now wife at the time girlfriend, Sally Kinworthy, and I took down an open doubles championship at the New Orleans Pro Stop, and that kind of ended the relationship because at that time Tyler just never could win a match with his girlfriend, now wife, Sally. So that kind of ended it.
And you actually won 4 divisions at that event,
right?
If I remember correctly. And it's Daniel Cordova, Dave, taking this match 21-6, 21-14. He'll move on to face Riley Kloss of Lake Forest at 5 p.m. tonight. That match may or may not be on the webcast schedule, Dave. That'll be determined by Ashley Moeller, who's going to be picking her favorites for us this afternoon.
Martin Mulcairns from UCD in Ireland up against John Casey. Coming up next, it's the 60th United States Handball Association's four-wall collegiate handball championships. We'll have more handball coming up right around the corner. You stay here for Dave Fink, Linda Manning, and Omar Lemus. My name is Dave Vincent. More right around the corner.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
My name.
You ready? Let's go.
What's up, everybody? I'm here at Placer Sports Complex on the campus of Missouri State University here in Springfield, Missouri. We're in a couple weeks, February 22nd through the 26th. We'll have over 300 student athletes from all over the world getting ready to throw down some fierce competition in the 60th annual USHA National Collegiate Championships.
50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights.
There'll be 2 facilities. Here at Placer Sports Complex, we have 12 courts, and also at Hammond Student Center, we have 5 courts over there.
People still think that they know him. He knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise.
Teams have been gearing up for this 5-day competition all year long. Up for grabs are multiple individual titles, as well as the 3 different team titles: the women's team, men's team, and combined team titles. This is one of the biggest handball events in the world. Every year.
The fact that many misjudge him because he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, got a picture connects. Never asking for someone's help to get some respect.
We'd love for you guys to come out, have a good time, and welcome to Bear Country. Mo what? Mo State.
This is 20% skill, 80% beer, be 100% clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would've thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Ryu had the stupidest verse, this dude is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots.